Hello and welcome to The Night Feed. I'm your host, Charlotte, here to bring you some comfort, camaraderie and conversation and keep you company during, let's face it, one of the toughest parts of being a new parent, The Night Feed. Tonight's unpaid sponsor is being told you've got your hands full. I genuinely think it's like a tick amongst old people here in the UK. If I ever make eye contact with a kind-looking elderly person whilst out on any occasion with my children, they give me a lovely big smile and then go, "Oh, you've got your hands full." It happened to me the other day when I literally did have my hands full. I had the baby in the sling and I went to TK Maxx, which is a place where I could spend my life. I just love that shop. I think in the US it's called TJ Maxx, but they just have like everything, like literally everything, from clothes to kids' toys to candles to diffusers to cushions to artwork to weird statues that you would never imagine buying but somehow buy because you think, well, this looks cool. And this isn't an ad for TK Maxx, by the way, but I just love that place. So needless to say, I had the baby in the sling and two sizable bags in each hand. And I was walking back to the car and I saw this elderly couple coming towards me. I thought, I know what they're going to say. And the guy goes to give me a big smile. I thought, oh, they might say something different. No. Oh, you've got your hands full. I was like, yeah. Yes, I have got my hands full. Do you want to carry my bags for me? It's so funny. I don't know why they, like, literally, if I'm out anywhere and I make eye contact with usually a pensioner and I have the children with me, it's like it just has to come out of their mouth. Like, oh, you've got your hands full. And I'm starting to think, actually, maybe it's a term of endearment. Maybe instead of saying, oh, you're in your mum era, it's like, oh, you've got your hands full. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to be nice, but do we have to state the bloody obvious? Do we have to state it? My nan had 5 kids and she would say to this remark, she would always say, well, I wouldn't have it any other way. And I might just start saying that. Oh, guys, I don't know what possessed me this morning, but I decided, I announced actually at 7:45 a.m. that I was making pancakes. And this is Monday morning, so preschool run. We need to leave at about 8:30. And bearing in mind, when I announced this at 7:45, we were all in our pyjamas. No one was dressed. We had to do everything before the school run, including change the baby and get the baby ready. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to make pancakes like Mother Earth. And I'll tell you what possessed me. I'll tell you exactly what possessed me to make pancakes is these reels and these videos I'm seeing of mums in America making the kids like a full-on fry-up before breakfast. Pancakes, syrups, sausages, eggs, everything. I'm thinking, I can't give my kids a bagel now. So I woke up and I said, we're going to have pancakes this morning. I'm going to cook you something wholesome. Pancakes even wholesome? I don't know. Well, you know what's in them, I suppose, when you make them from scratch. But anyway, I was like, we're going to have pancakes. So the kids were like, yeah, great. And at first I used it as like bargaining bait. I was like, well, come on, we need to do our teeth, otherwise we can't have pancakes. And come on, we need to get dressed now. And we made it downstairs. I was all calm. Gets the frying pan out. I'm thinking of these reels in my head where they make pancakes. You know, they make it look like the most easiest thing they've ever done in their life. And let me tell you, it wasn't that easy this morning. Don't get me wrong, I can make a pancake. Even though I struggle with the temperature of the pan. It's a very fine line, isn't it, between burning them and them being like not cooked. So I had the pan on the right temperature. My 3-year-old was helping me. She loves to help. We had the whisk. She was enthusiastically staring with the whisk, and let's just say by this point she was in a uniform and a uniform was no longer clean, but she was helping. It was all good. Within 5 minutes, there was pancake mix everywhere and the smoke alarm was going off. And we were almost really late for school. So the moral of that story is don't be influenced by what you see on Instagram, because these people making their pancakes are probably doing it on Sunday morning when there's no school run with 3 kids, 5 and under. But we made it. by the skin of our teeth. We all had pancakes. It wasn't that bad. But yeah, I won't be doing that unless I wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm not going to do that either. So there you go. But do you know what influenced me? Like I said, is these reels that you see on Instagram, on TikTok, of mums making it look really easy. Like, here's me making the pancakes this morning, and you're kind of conned into this aesthetic and this lifestyle where everything's really easy and this is how it should look. And I came across this quote on Instagram that said, the thing that really screws us over is our picture of how it should be. And it's by Glennon Doyle. And that quote, I think, is so true. Don't you think? When you're planning something with the kids, when you're going to bake, when you're going to do art, when you're going to do crafts, you have this vision, usually from social media, of how it should look. So here I am seeing a mum in a kitchen making these pancakes. Maybe the kids are being looked after at this point. Maybe it's on a Sunday morning when there's no rush. And it fills your head with images of how it should look. And I think that can be really, really damaging. Now, Glennon Doyle has a book called Untamed, which I think I read half of it. I'll be completely honest. I read half of it about 5 years ago, around COVID kind of time, and I did find it really interesting. It was mainly about how, as women, we're taught to be tame, aren't we? We're taught to be a certain way, and it was all about how you should unleash yourself and how you should be the real you and not to be kind of tamed, I suppose, by what society thinks. And I saw this quote and I thought, I've got to share it with you because I think it is so true. That, yeah, what screws us over is our picture of how it should be. And it made me think of another video I saw the other day. And it was a mum in a kitchen with her kids. I think they looked about from 4 and 5-ish. And the caption on the video was, "The rain doesn't stop us." And there she is in the kitchen, dancing with the kids whilst making little snack boxes to go out with. They're there with their waders and their wellies. She's like, "The rain doesn't stop us. We're going to the river." And she's dressing the kids in all these waterproofs, getting the wellies on. And then they go on down to the river and they're playing in the rain and they're getting all muddy. And I was watching this video thinking, you absolute failure. Like, this whole week I'd been in pretty much in the afternoon. The weather's not great, but it just made me feel like, oh my God, this mum is going to the river and you're sat watching Peppa Pig while the baby feeds. And it made me feel really like glum. So there I was, next minute on Vinted buying waders. We don't even have a river. We don't have a river. We have puddles at best. Bought my kids waders. And I'm thinking, look how easily influenced you've just been. You have just been completely influenced by this one video. You don't know that mum didn't stay in the whole earlier part of the week. And it's just my little public service announcement to all of you who see videos on social media and see things and think, oh my God, this is so perfect. Why aren't I doing this? Why aren't I buying my kids waders when we don't live near a river? So yeah, it really hit me when I saw that quote from Glennon Doyle, because it gives you this, like, my motherhood looks how my motherhood looks. And I said this last week, back in the day, there was no comparison. And comparison is the biggest thief of joy, as we know. So it's just fueling my fire to get us all off social media as much as we can be, because it's just so harmful. And the days I don't go on it, like I've said in the past, are some of the best days. And it's tricky for me because I have a client still that I work with on social media, and I obviously use it for my podcast. So I try to go on there to just post and come off it, not be a product of it. But it's so easy to be sidetracked, isn't it? And leading on from this, quite conveniently actually, is I had an email from a listener. this week, and it says, I didn't realise how foggy my brain was. Hi Charlotte, I just wanted to say thank you for the episode about scrolling and mental load. Something you said made me pause for a minute, and that night I decided to take a social media detox. I didn't expect much, but wow. Within a few days, it honestly felt like someone had cleared the fog from my brain. I felt calmer, more present, less anxious, and way kinder to myself. The constant noise and comparison I didn't even realise I was carrying just lifted. I know it sounds dramatic, but I genuinely feel like a new woman. Thank you for saying the thing I didn't know I needed to hear, and for creating a space that feels grounding instead of overwhelming in early motherhood. So grateful. Thank you. And I too felt like a new woman when I had my social media detox. And if you haven't tried it, I really would think about how much it impacts you. I know I get a bit preachy, don't I? And I'm sorry if it comes across like that. I just really care about protecting motherhood and protecting our motherhood and protecting our kids as well. I think there's a lot to be said about what it's doing to us and what it's doing to our relationship with our kids in a way, and how we picture things differently because of what we see online. So, following on from that listener email, it could be worth giving yourself a little break, even if that's just reducing your screen time right down. Because I've seen there's some videos at the moment on social media, obviously, of mums kind of taking it a bit too literally, where they'll like put the phone down and they've been shamed into putting the phone down, and then they're just staring at the baby, and the baby's crawling off, and it's meant to be all ironic. And I get it. I get that there's this pressure to come off your phone, but it's coming from a very good place. It's coming from a place of, you sat scrolling for 20 minutes is not going to make you feel great. It's not going to give you that lift or that boost. It's going to make you see something that's going to bug you. So yeah, I just think take heed with that one if you can. There's loads of apps now, I think, that can help you stop reaching for the phone. It's so easy, isn't it? I picked my phone up. Why have I just picked my phone up? And when you hear it buzz, it's like it's almost connected to you, isn't it? And I noticed it with my girls the other day at the table. My phone buzzed over on the side, and my eldest was like, "Oh, your phone, mummy," and I was like, "Oh, I don't need to look at it. I'm with you." And it's even they're susceptible to the buzzers now. So it's just, I think there's going to be a big, almost revolution about the amount of scrolling we do. I can feel it coming. I can feel it in my bones. But yeah, I think if you can just kind of step back from it as much as you can and see how much, like this listener took a full-on cold turkey 3 days and she feels like brain fog's listed. Brain fog, not brain frog. There you go. There's my brain fog coming into play. She feels like a new woman. And honestly, that's what happened to me. I did it in January 2025. Oh my God, was it that long ago? Yeah, it was a year ago. I did a week off and it was unreal, the difference. So it's worth a try if you can come off it, if you don't use it for your work. I would really try it and see how you feel. Next email is to the contact napping mum. Hi Charlotte. This email is in response to the listener who wrote in a week or so ago about contact napping. I just wanted to reply because I could have written this myself in those early weeks. My baby was exactly the same. Every nap was a contact nap, and the moment I tried to put her down, her eyes would ping open like it was a trap. I spent so much time wondering if I should be fixing it or worrying about habits, and honestly, looking back, I wish I'd worried less. For us, it was completely normal. Those early weeks are all about comfort and regulation, not routines. I leaned into the contact naps, watched a lot of TV with subtitles, drank lukewarm coffee, and reminded myself that my baby wasn't being difficult. She just needed me. And the thing everyone told me that actually turned out to be true was that you don't ruin a baby by meeting their needs. As she grew, things naturally shifted. One day she tolerated being put down, then another, no training required. If your instinct says lean in, you're probably right. this phase really is a season. Intense, exhausting, and strangely short all at once. You're not doing anything wrong. Sending solidarity. I love it when listeners email back to listeners. I just love this community. And I completely agree with what you say. And it's such a fleeting season. I'm clinging onto my 8-month-old here, trying to slow down these days now. I really am, because I'm realising how much he's growing. And one day these naps are going to be a thing of the past. So I am all for leaning in, because I too, like this listener and like the listener before, know if I put him down, I'll get 20 minutes to max. He'll wake, he'll want the boob. In fact, he sometimes just wakes up with his mouth open looking for the boob. And I know that if he's on me, he can have it and he'll sleep along. And it's the respite we need. It's the rest. My mum always says, babies are sent to slow you down. They'll slow you down. And lean into that. Don't think, oh crap, I've got to quickly run around and do everything I need to do. And I know that's what we all think. But as a mum with older children, when they get to around the 1 year mark, I found they would sleep much better off me. So I would be able to put them in their cot and they would have an hour, maybe more. My eldest would go for 2 hours in the afternoon and she would need that. And that's coming from a mum who let her contact nap as much as she wanted in the early days. So you're not breaking your baby. You're not ruining your baby. If you want to sit and lean into the naps, because if you think about it, what other time in your life are you going to get to have a reason to sit and watch telly? It's not often as an adult, is it? You know, to be able to just sit, have the baby on you and be like, you know what, I am doing something right now. I am being that comfort to the baby. I am feeding them. I am being close to them. And I'm watching telly and enjoying it. So I completely agree. Here's the contact notes. Next email says, am I being unreasonable? Hi, Charlotte. I wanted to write in with something I've been struggling with and wondering if other mums feel this way too. I have a 9-month-old and I get almost no time alone. Truly none. I can count on one hand the times I've had an hour to myself since she was born. Because of that, I find myself on my phone a lot, not because I don't care about my baby, but because it's the only mental break I seem to get. My partner gets frustrated about my phone use and often suggests I take the baby out for walks on my own so he can have quiet time at home. Oh my. And I keep thinking, when do I get that? Weekends are the only time we're both home. And it feels unfair that I'm expected to leave with the baby so he can rest when I never do. I love my baby, but I also find this stage quite monotonous and lonely at times. And I don't think that makes me a bad mum, just an honest one. I'd really love your thoughts on this and to hear from any of the mums who might be navigating the same thing. Thank you. Oh, okay. The bit that made me a little bit angry here is that he gets frustrated about you being on your phone and expects you to leave the house with the baby so he has alone time. Okay. If your partner's going to work in the week, he's getting alone time. I'm sorry. I know work is hard and I'm not depreciating the fact that he has to go to work, but there's a difference. There is a big difference in mums being at home with the baby and partners going to work. I am very fortunate that my partner gets that. He's like, I know looking after a baby at home is intense. And as much as I love it, and even if you love it like nothing else, you still need a break. And you have got to get that break. Not having more than an hour in 9 months is not good enough. And you've really got to advocate for yourself here, because you are responsible for your baby and you need to be, okay and looking after you. And having an hour here and there is not asking a lot. Trust me. I am very much vocal with needing an hour, of a night. I'll go and have a bath. I'll just say, right, if you got the kids now, I'm going to go have a bath. I'm going to have a minute. Because I come out of that bath like Mother Earth. I go into the bath, a bit like the Grinch at times. I have my bath and I come out and I'm Maria Bloody Von Trapp again, ready to sing and have fun. And if you're not having that circuit breaker, you could get quite low, I think. Judging by this email, you need to have a very good conversation with your partner and explain to him that being at home all day with a baby is a different kind of hard. And it is no breaks. You don't get to have a lunch hour. You don't get to go to the toilet on your own. I mean, if you've got a 9-month-old, you put them somewhere very safe and you run back, or you take them with you. You are on 24/7. Imagining your baby still wakes in the night. It is 24/7. And you have to advocate for yourself, because no one else is going to, unfortunately, unless you have the most supportive village around you that go, oh, you go and have a rest. But it doesn't sound like you've got that necessarily if you've not had a break in 9 months. You've had almost no alone time. You've got to have a good chat with your partner. You really have. You've got to sit down and lay out how you're feeling and come up with a plan. Say, we'll alternate. One night you have a minute, the next night I have a minute. If he's going to go out and expect you to go out with the baby of a weekend so he can have alone time, then he has to do the same for you. That should be part of the conversation. And he will say, well, I've been at work all week, I need a break. Well, you've been looking after the baby all week, you need a break. So what about on a Saturday he has the baby in the morning, and on a Sunday you have the baby and you both get a rest? That's what we tend to do. If one of us has a lie-in, the following day on the weekend the other one will. And that's what you need in a relationship. It's kind of a mutual respect of what you're both going through. Because yes, I imagine what he's going through isn't particularly easy at the moment. You've both parents to a newborn, a 9-month-old. It's hard on both parents, but you need a break. And I would really say my advice would be is to sit down with your partner, not have an argument, not get annoyed with each other, because I think it can come a bit of a tit for tat, can't it? Like, I'm more tired than you kind of thing. We don't want that. Just be really grounded and really honest and explain to him that having time for yourself makes you a better mum. And it's not a lot to ask an hour. You can have a nice bath in an hour. They can be without you for more than an hour now. I really hope that helps, and I really hope you get some alone time, because you need it. All mums need it, and it's not a bad thing that you need that. It's completely and utterly natural. So give us an update when you've had that chat. Maybe let us know how you're getting on. I hope you feel better. If any of the listeners have been through something similar, please email in and give your advice. But yeah, I wish you luck, and make sure you get that time for yourself, because you really need it. Next tonight is what's trending. And what's trending at the moment is loneliness. There's a huge thing around loneliness, because at the moment in our lives, we are so kind of living this online life that community is being eroded. I was watching this girl who is Gen Z, and she was saying she's grown up in the smartphone era where you can literally do everything on your phone. You can order a pizza, you can order your food delivery, you can chat to an old friend, you can watch something, you can start a business. Everything can be done on your phone. You could literally sit in a room and have the most productive day of your life just for having your phone next to you, but not see anyone. And her argument was that our kids and us, we're growing up in a world where you can go days without human interaction because you've got a phone. And it's making people so much more insular, and real human connection is being lost. Because sending your mate a WhatsApp message is lovely, but it's not actually seeing them, is it? It's not actually making arrangements to meet them. And I know our generation don't really like phone calls that much. I don't mind them, but like, I'd rather just send an email or a message. You know, instead of ringing the doctors, I'd rather just email booking or e-booking. And it made me think, we're so used to just doing everything online, away from chatting to people. You know, what are our children going to be? Will they even use their phone as a phone? Will they need to go to the shops? And it really just made me think about how there's a lot of mums out there that are very lonely. Because if you're at home all day with a baby who isn't yet talking, as wonderful as it can be isolating. If you've not got friends down the road, or if your mum doesn't live close, your partner's out all day or works away, you are kind of on your own little island, aren't you? So my self-care tip leading on from that is to try and get out and join some kind of mums group in your area, whether that's a play group or a baby club. I actually just joined a walking mums group on WhatsApp based locally to me, and there's so many lovely messages going on in there, and I think they have walks really often, so there's a great reason to get out. They're happening almost every day, I think, in this group, and it's so good to just be out in the fresh air, chatting and making real connections, not just in a mum and baby group on a forum. Anyone can write anything, and you're not getting the genuine connection there. So getting out, getting walking with people, try and find yourself a mum and baby event, or even just a mum event if you can, if someone can look after the baby for you. I think it would be so important to build those real connections again. And you never know, you could meet a mum friend who becomes the most close friend in your life, you know, and it can happen. The mum friends I've met, I've talked about before, are just incredible. And we have this little community, and I have these friends that I can go out with and speak to and chat to, and they just get me and I get them, and there's no judgment, and it's lovely. And if I'd never have stepped out into those baby groups, I would never have met them. I would never know them. And I think it's just really important to have that human connection over doom scrolling. So yeah, let me know. Email me if you go out, thenightbeepodcast@gmail.com, and maybe I could give shout outs to local groups so that if there's any other listeners that listen there, you can kind of meet up. I would love for you guys to form some kind of community where you can all get together in a way and just have that solidarity of other new mums getting together. Finally, to finish on a quote I wrote. It's 2 a.m. The house is quiet, but your body isn't resting. You're doing the maths in your head already. Last wake was midnight. Next one could be 4 or 3 or any minute now. During the day, it looks like progress. He naps in the crib now. Sometimes only 30 minutes, sometimes long enough to make you think maybe, just maybe, things are changing. But it's 2 a.m. and none of that matters. You sit on the edge of the bed, patting and shushing in the dark. You don't bounce anymore. That was a phase you survived. Now it's stillness and whispers and holding your breath so you don't wake him fully. You put him down. He stirs. You freeze. Pick up. 10 seconds. Back down. Pat, pat, pat. Your arms ache anyway. Your eyes burn. Your mind is loud with numbers and clocks, wake windows and guilt, and hope fighting each other. People say you're making progress, but progress doesn't help when you're awake again at 2 a.m. doing everything right and still so tired it hurts. You don't feel dramatic. You don't feel strong. You just feel awake. And tomorrow, someone will tell you you're doing amazing. But right now, it's 2 a.m. and you're just trying to make it to the next stretch of sleep. Thank you for listening this evening. Thank you for being here as always. If you have any questions, any tips, advice, stories, please keep them coming in. you can email me thenightviewpodcast@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram or TikTok. I love hearing from you all. I wish you all a restful, peaceful night ahead. Good night.